Hi everyone, welcome to the latest edition of the Coach's Corner. I am your host, Wes McKinney, here today with head football coach Garin. Coach, championship week here for the Mountain Lions. And first question is, going back to last week, how has the emergence of Ben Nestor helped out this offense?
He's done a nice job. The biggest thing Ben's done, he's taken some pressure off of Novak. Novak's a freshman quarterback who's had a pretty solid first year, but now with the emergence of Ben, he doesn't have to be the guy. He doesn't have to be the guy that bails us out in a tight situation. Now we want him to, and we expect him to, but now Ben can carry some of that load that Brian had, and I think it's really plus Ben's demeanor, his leadership. It's really calmed Brian down. Those two guys have worked great together, and he's from an offensive standpoint running the football to a leadership standpoint in that quarterback room with Brian. He's done an excellent job.
Now, last week you guys get a 30-14 win against Notre Dame College to set yourself up for this weekend's game against Shepherd. What did you take most away from that game last weekend?
Well, we did what we're supposed to do. It would be easy going into the game with a big Shepherd game looming the next week. It'd be easy for us to go into that Notre Dame game. And Notre Dame's a team that's a solid football program, and it would be very easily for us to overlook those guys and really take a loss because we didn't do our work. The guys prepared, they focused on Notre Dame, and that's a nice step. It's a nice step. It shows that we've matured as a football team. Last year or 2 years ago, we've struggled in those situations, and this year we really stepped up and took care of business when we needed to.
Now, what does it say about this program overall that you've played for at least a share of the conference championship for 2 of the last 3 years now?
Yeah, I think it says a lot about all the hard work that everyone's put in this thing. When we go 5 years ago, we weren't even relevant. Now, a couple years ago, we were relevant, and now the last 3 years, we've really been one of the top teams in the league. And we're still shooting to be that Shepherd-type program. Shepherd's a program that's 1 or 2 in the league for the last 20 years, and Monty does an excellent job. And we're trying to reach that standard as a program, and it's great that we've done that 3 years, but I want people to look back 10 years from now and say Concord in the league, because that's what Shepherd's done. That's what Shepherd's going to continue to do, and we want to be mentioned right with them in the league as being one of the top teams in this conference.
Now, maybe one of the overlooked factors on this team is your kicker, Andy Ellington. 3 field goals of 48 yards. Last week hits a 52-yarder at Notre Dame. How big is it, that he almost has unlimited range now?
It's really big. It makes the field smaller for an offense. For an offense, in the past, we've had to get down to the 15, 20-yard line to attempt a field goal. Now, when you hit the 30-yard line, you're in Andy's range. And last week, we're actually 33, 35. But it's nice to know that as an offense, you don't have to drive 20 more yards. That's 2 more first downs. And you take a game like Shepherd this weekend where it's tough to get first downs. It's tough to get a lot of yardage. Maybe us being 20 yards shorter with his leg is going to allow us to get some points which we wouldn't have in the past.
Now, this weekend does pit 2 of the top defenses, not only in the league, but nationally. So what have you seen from film on Shepherd that makes them so good, and how do you neutralize them?
Well, they are a top defense nationally in the league. You watch the film and you see why. They're very physical up front. Those 4 guys that plays on their defensive line, it seems like they've been there forever. And a lot of those guys, a lot of the core guys of who they are. You got Dixon in the middle. You got number 2 at safety. Those guys are all players that's been there. They were part of their team that went to national semifinals. So they've played a lot of ball. They've won a lot of games together, and they're smart. As an offense, you look at what they do. You run a formation, a play. People may have success on it, but you try it 5 plays later, they recognize it, they jump on it. They do a good job of recognizing plays, recognizing what you're going to do, and knowing what your game plan is, along with the fact that they just play hard and get after you. And then their special teams are phenomenal. Special teams do a nice job. They're able to return some kicks, block some kicks. And then offensively, they're very much like us in the fact that they're going to run the football, manage the game, and really not put their defense in a bad situation.
Now, when you think of the Concord defense, you might think of guys like Jake Lilly, Devon Marion, Riyad Richardson, but this defensive line has just had one heck of a year. So just talk about what they bring to this defense.
Yeah, Pat Dawson's done an excellent job with those guys. You start with Keith Ferguson, Will Greathouse, Anthony Pyle, those guys have started a lot of games this year, and those guys have played great football. But the emergence the last couple weeks has been Daryl Johnson, our freshman nose guard. He's a guy that I don't think's left the field the last 3 weeks, and we've played 2 very good rushing offenses in Charleston and Notre Dame. He's been a key cog in the middle of what we're doing. Those 4 guys, along with Irvin Moore and Trey Preston, who really play a buck linebacker but are basically defensive linemen on the end, those guys have done a tremendous job all year. That they allow the Jake Lillies and the Devon Marions really to come free and be unblocked as when they're making a tackle. Sorry about that.
Now, Saturday is championship Saturday, but it's also senior day, you know. So just talk about this senior class and the lasting impact they will leave on this program.
Well, that's big. I mean, you have a lot of guys who sacrificed a lot for this program. They were guys that when they showed up to Concord, there wasn't a whole lot of positives to say about what the football program had done. It was a lot of coaches selling empty promises or promises of what could be, and those guys were able to really believe the coaches, buy into the coaches, and now they've built what they've envisioned. That they signed up to be a championship program. They signed up to win championships, win football games, and it would have been easy for them to go to a Shepherd because those programs were winning at the time. Concord wasn't. It would have been easy for them to do that, but they didn't. They came here, and they left the program a lot better than what they found it. And you're going to look back, and you're going to have guys like Jake Lilly, Riyad Richardson, Devon Marion, some of those guys like that, you're going to look back 20 years from now, and they're going to be in the School Hall of Fame because of all the contributions they've gave to this program.
All right, Coach, thanks as always for coming by today. Reminder, Concord and Shepherd right here in Athens at Callahan Stadium, Saturday afternoon, 1 o'clock. If the Mountain Lions win, they could share the conference championship, the first ever MEC title for Concord. For our producer, Cole Clunan, and Coach Garin Justice, I am Wes McKinney, and this has been the Coach's Corner.